Great work, family. Continue.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, bring them in.
All right, attention jurors entering the courtroom.
Everyone be seated.
Right before we left, it looked like you may have raised your hand. Is that true?
Yes, could I approach the bench, please?
Judge, 158, approach the bench. feel that this would be a factor that would make you feel uncomfortable about being a member of the jury. And I would start out by asking for a show of hands in the first row, and then we can go from there.
Judge, may I object to the approach?
Yes.
I asked you if this would be a factor for you in your process of trying to decide if you could be fair and impartial if you were selected to be a juror in this case. And certainly what is in your mind and what goes into your makeup as you get into this process is important to us, and that's what we're interested in finding out. So again, if this is something that could possibly cause you to question your ability to be fair and impartial in this case, or to sit on this jury, I would like for you to raise your hand. And again, I'll start with the first row. Juror number 7.
Yes, I consider myself to be a fair and impartial person, but I've been searching my mind and my heart regarding this, and the thing that I thought is like, I don't know how fair and impartial I can be once I see certain details, because right now I don't know all the details. And you know, if I start thinking if it's the child that's close to me or someone that I, you know, how I'm going to feel with the question with regards to the determination of premeditation and that instant of knowing and not knowing, and then if suddenly they are determined to be in the insanity of no consequences. That's been going in my mind since yesterday. So I can always try to, but I don't know until that moment and I see the details what's going to happen.
So you're not clear as to what you might think. So at this moment, you don't feel like you would say that you could not be fair and impartial. You just feel that you don't know.
Exactly.
Well, I guess I could fall back and ask you this. Given the fact that there are children involved in this case, could you attach that presumption of innocence to Ms. Schenecker right from the very beginning, right from right now all the way through the trial until such time, until and if the state is able to present evidence to the contrary that would overcome that presumption?
Yes, I believe in innocent until proven guilty, so I would have to say yes.
Okay. Has your position changed any since this subject came up yesterday with respect to children?
No, other than the fact that in my mind I started, you know, seeing, well, innocence, and no matter whether they're a teenager or not. So that's just been sort of weighing on me.
You do seem to have some reservations, but you're just unclear as to how you'll feel until you get there.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Is there anyone else on row number 1? Yes, sir. Juror number 36.
Sir, I'm not clear about the question. I was wondering, when you were talking about the graphic nature, then there was the children. I think I answered the question for the children that I would be impartial for that reason. But the graphic nature of this is something that's probably going to be very difficult for me.
Well, what I tried to do is give you a summary of where I was going. And the first part of this is I'm asking about the children, and I expanded the question that you may have heard yesterday, but I think it was referenced to the people that had children of their own. And so I was expanding that to people that might not have necessarily have children of their own, but still might feel strongly that the presence of children in the case might interfere with their ability to be fair and impartial. I will get to the other graphic nature of some of the evidence in a moment. Does anyone in row number 2 have any thoughts about children? Will the fact that children lost their lives in this incident cause you to have reservations about your ability to be fair and impartial in this case? Row number 3. Row number 4. Okay, row number 5. Okay. What I referred to as the second part of this conversation, which is what I was alluding to you, is that some people are a little firmer constitution, some people a little more squeamish. I don't know how to describe it, but there's going to be, there will be graphic photographs involved in this case that you would, if you're on this jury, you would view. That will be part of it. That will be part of your responsibility as a juror. I'm not, this isn't the appropriate time. I'm obviously not going to show you evidence. I'm not going to talk about evidence per se, but other than to say that there's a possibility that graphic photographs might come to your attention if you're a member of this jury. I want to find out if anyone here feels that they would be affected in such a way that would cause them not to be able to be fair and impartial as a juror, cause them to have some disposition, some predisposed idea of guilt or innocence, inability to sit on this jury for that reason. And again, I'll ask this on a row-by-row basis and find out where you stand with this. And row number one, does anyone feel that that would be a problem for them in terms of their ability to be on this jury? Juror number 36?
I'm just not sure that I could give due consideration to the graphic nature of the photographs, because I'm not sure if I can be comfortable viewing those photographs.
Do you feel like the presence of such photographs would cause you to depart from your previously stated position of being fair and impartial in this case?
I'm just not sure that I could. When viewing the evidence and looking at everything, I'm not sure that I can give those photographs due consideration.
I'm kind of limited in the sense that I'm not in a position to tell you the exact evidence or show you anything, but you feel like you're not sure you could give it your best attention?
I think that's true, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there anybody on row two? How about row three? Juror 115?
Yes.
Could you stand up, please?
I just feel the same way. I'm not sure how I would react to photographs of that nature.
Are you given to, I guess, being uncomfortable and
Absolutely, that's not something that I want to do.
do you think that your feeling about this or your knowledge of how you feel about it would interfere with your ability to be able to be a juror in this case? In other words, to do the job that you would be required to do. Presumption of innocence, burden of proof, be fair and impartial. In other words, view all the evidence, listen to all the evidence, take a look at what's there, consider it. Would you be in a position where you would be unable to do that?
Possibly. It's just not the graphic nature what you're referring to. It's not something that I want to see.
It's not something you want to see. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else on row three? Juror number 84?
I feel the same way. I'm squeamish when it comes to that.
Can you stand up, please, sir?
I am squeamish when it comes to that type of stuff. Looking at that, I'm not a fan of seeing anything graphic, and it kind of makes me upset to a certain extent. I come from a city in Chicago where there's nothing but violence towards kids, especially in this nature right now. I had my younger sister, she passed away about 3 years ago. It wasn't for violence, but to watch her and to see that, I know that death isn't a natural thing to see. So it's kind of hard to, have to view something like that and then to have to be fair and impartial to somebody who's done something else would be hard for me to.
Do you feel like you could set aside the feelings that you have and be very impartial as a juror in this case, given the nature of that?
I couldn't say, but I know it would stir and evoke some type of emotion to see certain things. And like they both most data, I wouldn't, that's something that I don't care to see.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Is there anyone else in row 3? I move to row 4 now. Is there anyone in row 4? How about row 5? Is there anyone in row 5? Thank you. How many people, and I guess I would ask by a show of hands in this situation, and then we can explore later, how many people in this jury panel, and I guess I'll start with row number 1, own a gun? Okay. Juror number 6, let me ask you this. Can you stand up, please? Or, well, you don't have to. You're close enough. Are you an active proponent of gun usage in America?
I believe you have a right to possess a firearm if you want to. You can legally.
Sir, are you aware of rules and regulations regarding safety of guns and things of that nature?
Yes.
Do you have a gun that was handed down to you that you've
Yes.
had for...
Yes.
Do you hunt or do you use your gun?
No. I have a .22 rifle that hadn't been fired since the 60s.
16.
And a .38 revolver that hadn't been fired since the 70s.
Okay. And those are both that were hand-me-downs to you from someone
Yes.
else?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any strong feelings regarding guns or the rights of gun owners or anything of that nature?
Simply that you have the right to possess one. That's it.
Or do you consider yourself, sir, to be familiar with the process of guns, how to register them or own them or keep them
I think it
safe?
should be a lot tougher than it is.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts about guns?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir. Who else raised their hand here? Juror number 10?
I own an old Smith & Wesson that I got from my granddad.
Handed down to you?
Yes, I don't even know if it fires.
Okay.
But it's in a box and it looks good on my wall. It's an antique.
Looks good, it's an antique, and you've never used it, I take it?
No, sir.
Okay, do you have any knowledge of gun control here in America?
Knowledge? No, sir.
Do you have knowledge or opinions about how to maintain the safety of weapons, things of that nature?
I've never had a weapon, sir. I've never had the need to know that.
Okay.
Other than to spend
Other than which you don't use? It just stays on your mantelpiece? Okay, thank you, sir. Juror number 12, I think you raised your hand as well?
May I approach? Excuse me, sir. Can I use the restroom because I've got prostate issues and I need to go?
That's fine with me.
You
Yep.
can go ahead and step out, sir. I'll go ahead and tell you, we will take about a 10-minute break, because when we break, it's necessary that we do that. You're reminded of my prior admonitions. We'll step out.
All rise.
that's it for council. Obviously, just to make it clear, anytime anyone goes out, this will be a time.
Okay, I didn't know you do that, so that's okay.
I understand, but anytime anyone goes out, we're not going to be assembled unless we're all assembled. Is there anything you want to accomplish while we take this brief break? No? Okay. All right. I'm not hearing any motions at this point. Council, you can't approach on one matter.